Today we're making a full Sunday dinner for the family, and this creamy herb roasted chicken came out so good. So here's my menu for today. I'm making roasted chicken thighs with this delicious creamy sauce. This recipe is inspired by another creator. I will tag her page in the description box down below. She made a whole roasted spatchcock chicken. It was so good. Best roast chicken I've had in a while. I'm also gonna do some sweet potatoes. I'm just gonna bake them, and then once they're finished baking, I'm gonna add some butter, brown sugar, cinnamon as a side dish. I'm gonna do some yellow rice, and I wanted to do the green beans with the same cream sauce from the chicken with some onion. It tastes so good. And some cornbread. So anyways, no more blabbering. Let's get cooked. Starting by making the chicken. I already washed it and cleaned it really well. I'm using chicken thighs. Now I'm going to use paper towel to pat dry the chicken really well because you want it to be dry. And then I'm sprinkling it with some flaky sea salt on both sides. Next, I'm going to add some all-purpose seasoning and white pepper. You can use black pepper instead of white pepper. Flip it to the other side and do the same thing. Once you're finished doing that, you're going to put it in the oven to bake at 400 degrees for 1 hour. Now I'm starting to make the cream sauce for the chicken. In here I have some butter melting, and I'm adding in some heavy cream to that. I'm going to start by taking the leaves off the rosemary and finally chopping the rosemary, the thyme, and parsley, and garlic. I have this on medium to medium low heat, and now I'm adding in my fresh herbs. So I have fresh parsley, fresh thyme, and fresh rosemary, and some freshly minced garlic. I'm going to leave this lettuce simmer over medium low heat so that the herbs can infuse into the cream sauce for 4 to 5 minutes. So once the chicken is almost finished cooking, you guys, I'm going to remove it from the oven and pour the cream sauce we just made with the butter, cream, and herbs all over the chicken. But I'm going to save some of the cream fused in my green beans recipe that I'm going to make in this video. So don't use all of the cream, okay? And then once you put the cream on top of the chicken, you're going to place it back into the oven to finish cooking. I'm going to baste it with the cream sauce 1 to 2 times, and then you have the most flavorful tender roasted chicken you've had in a while. I'm going to start with the sweet potatoes, and all I'm going to do is wash them. I have some water in this bowl, but I'm going to wash them in my sink right here. I'm doing about 4 or 5 sweet potatoes. So let's wash this out. Now I'm placing these bad boys on here. I know my potatoes are a little bit skimpy small, y'all, but that's how they came. Okay, and I'm gonna bake it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 1 hour until you can take a fork or a knife and pierce them and they're soft. Okay, if you don't have sweet potato, you can do regular baked potatoes, add some cheese or just some butter to it with some salt and pepper. Improvise. So I'm about to start making the cornbread. I want to make blueberry cornbread. I have some frozen blueberries in my freezer that has been there way too long, so we're gonna use it. I have this bowl right here. I'm gonna add some flour. In the bowl, I'm adding 1 cup of flour, 1 cup cornmeal. To that, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt. Here is my frozen blueberries. I'm gonna rinse it out and then add it to the dry ingredients. Okay, I'm adding the blueberries in here, and I'm just gonna give that a mix. And the reason why I added the blueberries here is because I want to coat it in some of the dry flour mixture before I add it into the cornbread. I don't know, I feel like that makes a difference. Now for the wet ingredients, I'm adding 1 cup of milk, whole milk preferably. Alright guys, I'm adding 1 egg to the liquid mixture. And I'm gonna beat the egg to combine it with the milk. Lastly, I'm adding in some melted butter. Now we're gonna pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and combine. Almost forgot the best part, the sugar. Typically I use white sugar, but I'm out, so I am using brown sugar today. Hopefully it still comes out good the same way it always does. And in goes the cornbread. So I added 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, and 1/3 cup of melted butter. There you have our cornbread going into the oven. And let the cornbread bake until you can take a fork or a knife and pierce the middle and it comes out clean. Okay guys, we're gonna start by rinsing this rice twice with cold water. Freshly washed white jasmine rice. To cook the rice, I'm gonna start by coating the bottom of the pot with some oil. I'm using olive oil today. Then I'm gonna add some diced onion. This is optional, but it adds extra flavor to the rice. Some minced garlic, and saute this for about 2 to 3 minutes until the onion softens. It starts to let out its delicious fragrance. Now I'm gonna add in the rice. And to season it, I'm gonna add a little bit of saffron powder or turmeric powder, some chicken bouillon powder, and now I'm gonna add in the water. I'm gonna cover the pot and let it come to a boil over high heat. Once it starts to boil, I'm gonna turn the heat down to the low setting on the stove and let the rice take its time and cook for about 25 minutes. Okay guys, so let's make some simple but delicious creamy green beans. So I'm gonna be using the sauce we use on the chicken for the green beans, but I'm gonna start by steaming the green beans for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then I added in some sliced onions and then what was left of the cream sauce. Next, I added in some seasoning. So I did some all-purpose seasoning, black pepper, and a little bit of salt. Let that simmer and cook for about 3 minutes just so the flavors can blend together. And now it's time to serve. So let's make our Sunday plate. This meal is so delicious and comforting. You and your family are gonna enjoy this meal. It is the perfect Sunday meal. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!